We're going to look at setting up your netbook now to make sure that you're saving all your work properly. Firstly, go to My Computer, or the computer shortcut on your desktop. We're going to go over to your libraries, to your documents. So this is actually on your netbook, and we're going to set up a new folder. We're going to call it School. Double click on the School folder. We're going to create a new folder. And we're going to do this for each of your subjects. So we're going to go 9 ICT. Click on that. Now inside that we're going to put a new folder called Term 1. We're going to click on it and go inside that, and you can see the path sitting up here in your path library. So we're going to go a new folder now called Practice. And this is where you'll put your general day-to-day stuff. We're going to put a new folder called Assessment. And this is where you'll only put the files that you use to hand in at the end of the term. Right, let's go back up the top here now to 9 ICT. There's Term 1. Let's go copy there. So Control C, Control V. We'll click on that and we're going to go rename. So just click on it to rename it, and we're going to call it Term 2. Go Control C, Control V. Just click on it to rename it, Term 3. Control C, Control V. Click on it once to rename it, Term 4. And you can see in each of those folders we're ready to roll now. Now let's just go back up the top then to School. There's 9 ICT. Let's copy that. Control C, Control V. Click on it, and we'll call that 9 Maths. Control C, Control V. 9 Science. And so you can continue doing that and duplicate your folders very, very quickly. Right, so what we want to do then is we want to save our work into that. So when we create a Word document, a presentation, a spreadsheet, they're going to get saved into the appropriate folders. So if it's 9 ICT, we're in Term 2 now. In the Practice, you'll save those folders in there. So let's see how we'd go about that. Let's create a new word process document. So down to our Start menu, Microsoft Word. Just wait for it to load. Right, now the first thing you ought to do is go File, Save As, and we go over here into Documents, School, we're going to ICT, Term 2, Practice, and we're going to call that Blender Acronyms. We'll save it there. Now once you've typed in your document, all you need to do is use Control S on your keyboard, or File Save, whichever you prefer, and that will automatically save back into your folder as you go. So the key is, as soon as you open a document, save it. You've got plenty of time while you're saving it, and save back into that path that we created earlier. The libraries, user documents, and then into your school folder, into the appropriate folder from there. Right, so while you're at home, you'll save all your work to that folder. Even while you're at school, you can save that work to that folder, or that combination of folders. The key thing is what you do with that folder at the end of the day, or at the start of the next day. So when you come into school after you've worked on your work at home overnight, you should be going to Computer. You might need to get a couple of folders open depending on how you find this. Right. So there's Documents in Library. We scroll down, there's our folder called school with all the stuff that we created a few minutes ago. I'm just going to drag that over to one side. I'm going to go to my computer again, and I'm going to open up my network location. This is my U drive. Well, that's not my U drive. We'll go down here to Rainer P. We'll just go back one. Still don't think I've got it. No. Alright. Right, so there's my folder, my U drive, Rainer P. What I need to do is scroll down on that till I'm away from the folders, so I'm just down where the files are. Right, so on the left hand side I've got U drive, on the right hand side over here I have my netbook. I'm going to click on my school folder on my netbook, drag it across to my U drive, and it will be copied there. Now the first time it's copied, you won't see anything untoward happen. If we then add a file to our documents school, so let's assume it's the next day, we're going to add a file to that. So create a new document, this time Blender shortcuts. Let's name it first before we start working on it. File, save as, Blender shortcuts, save. Blender shortcuts. Control S to save it. We'll close that. Now we'll go back in our path here just till we get to our school folder. If we now drag that over to our network drive, you'll see now that it gives us a dialog box that says, look, there's some different files in there. Are you sure you want to copy them over? Our answer is yes. What we want to do is copy and replace. And if there's a number of things there, you can just tick the box down the bottom that says do this for all items and say yes. Copy and replace is what we want to do. If we go over here to our school folder, 9ICT, Term 2, Practice, there's our two files. Right, now that's the process to make sure that your work is backed up from your netbook to your school U drive.